Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the dojo. Today's featured show, Peacemaker, Season 2.
Peacemaker, Season 2, Episode 5. Welcome back to the dojo. I'm Ryu. That's Age, and we're back from our Peacemaker. Last week, Jew Master and Peacemaker got into it again, and it's a good thing Peacemaker landed on him. You used his weight to his advantage. By accident. This is one of the weirdest rivalries in just period. You know what I mean? This is like when Rey Mysterio had his rivalry with the Big Show, and the Big Show never stepped on him or anything. It was what it was. The classic giant versus cruiserweight.
Yeah, tiny little Vietnamese guy versus John Cena.
Yeah. So definitely interesting. So we have that. We have the Eagle guy who has legit, like, in tune with nature powers. Sure. That was something that wasn't on my bingo card, but that's something that's going on.
He has some form of magic or, like, green-related powers.
Yeah, because that's how that was. So, why not? Sure. They got to have him do something, because why would Argus be able to track the portal being active or anything like that? They don't have that technology at all. Right? Oh, they do. They do, so they... Whatever. Maybe they just wanted the Eagle guy to do something. I don't know. But he's got his whole side story going on with how Eagly is like Eagle Prime or whatever the heck he called it, and he has to take it down.
Yeah, he's basically Eagle Satan.
Yeah, pretty much. So after halfway through the season, this has been some madness. I'm sure there's more madness to come, because our theory was confirmed by a Fortnite dance. But I mean, that's not surprising to us. The more interesting bit will be the stuff we talked about a little bit last week. Will Vidge and Adebayo go into the other dimension? Because obviously that could cause some problems in either direction. We haven't seen other Universe Vigilante, because he'd potentially still be there. You know what I mean? He's not a person that probably wouldn't be there unless he's of a certain religion that I won't say out loud. I think we all know who we're talking about. But
yeah, Adrian is probably over there. The thing is, just he's probably not vigilante over there.
Right. So that'll be kind of interesting to see, what other changes there have been, how all the Argus people, or just military in general, are all just desk jockeys now. They don't have actual military training. So lots of interesting stuff to see what goes on in the second half of the season here. I'm excited. So let's go ahead and push some buttons, see what's up this week. So people over on Patreon will get the timer stuff set up, and people on YouTube always see you on the other side of the edit for the discussion and review. So here goes something. Well, alrighty then. We got some random bits of lore in this episode. Peacemaker made his final attempt with the Harcourt of this dimension for the moment. We'll put a pin in that one, because, we all saw that they're going to go try to get him back, and Peacemaker doesn't know that he's living in the Dotsie dimension. So,
Yeah, he still hasn't spent enough time over there to actually really know what's up. He doesn't know the whole story about what happened here. It's like he still thinks Harcourt betrayed him.
Yep.
And he also doesn't know that Eagly is Eagle Prime.
Right. So, I don't... We haven't gotten, how he came across Eagly. Right? That's not something they've discussed, I don't think. I'm pretty, 99% sure it's just, Eagly, he's my sidekick. That's all we've got. You know what I mean?
Eagly wasn't in the movie at all. And then, episode 1, it's just kind of he's just here. He's just basically my pet/sidekick.
Right. So, I don't know. I assume we'll get more on Eagly, because we got confirmed that he's Eagle Prime in this episode, and the Eagle guy was not wrong, so his myth was steeped in actual fact. So we talked a little bit about that at the end of the reaction, that, you know, not all myths are just made up, just pulled out of somebody's ass. A lot of them are like steeped in like what people think is actual fact, or stuff that they've actually seen, stuff like that. So, you know, sure. Well, why not?
Yeah, I did look into it because I was curious. But yeah, Saint Wild is a totally new, like, original character to this. He's never been in anything else.
Oh yeah. Well, so I guess we're not going to get too much more on him, obviously, because he's been to shreds, you say. So yeah, that was something. I gotta give him props for busting out the freaking elephant gun. You don't see those every day. So that was definitely something. You guys notice that Peacemaker's like covered in blood in like half of this freaking entire show? It's just, you know, it just seems to be a thing. But just, you know, like, I can't fathom. I almost made a Witcher joke in this scene. I wanted to, but it just didn't come out. But you know, the second I saw the gun, I was like, well, Geralt doesn't use guns, so I can't even. If Geralt starts using an elephant gun, then we'll have something. But yeah, this is one of those weapons where you question if this guy's capable of handling it. Because a weapon like this definitely has some serious kick behind it. So,
well, yeah, no, like, even being able to lift an elephant gun is a feat, let alone fire it. Usually you have to, like, heavily brace it, because just firing it will knock you on your ass and probably break several bones.
Yeah. So this guy is tougher than he looks, obviously. He had some sort of magic power, and anybody who's able to wield an elephant gun without, you know, assistance is
yeah, I mean,
pretty impressive.
he was using it just like a basic, like, frickin' bolt action.
Yeah. So let's not undersell the guy who got pecked to death by birds. Very large predator birds that can absolutely murder you, like we've talked about. So if there's a flock of eagles coming at you, I hope you can get underground or something. Because if they want you dead, you're going to be dead. You know what I mean? Unless you have some very, very serious equipment. Proficient with a shotgun, perhaps, with a reasonable amount of ammo. But you know, if they're all swarming you like that, yeah, you're probably in deep. So yeah, but either way, Eagle Prime, that's cool. He has powers. Hopefully we get more on him, what the deal is with him. How he came to be Peacemaker's sidekick. I assume they'll go into that at least somewhat. Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
We already knew that Eagly was, like, more intelligent than a typical eagle, but we didn't know, like, we didn't have any other indication that he was special beyond just the fact that he seemed more intelligent.
Right. So hopefully we get more on that. It doesn't even have to be grandiose. It can be like a step above what they did for Bordeaux in this episode. Did you see how they just snuck her lore in there and it wasn't a big deal and it didn't need to be? That was great. Okay, so she was in a major, like, plane crash or something like that, and most of her body was totally screwed, but they saved her life and turned her into a cyborg. Cool. We don't need anything more than that. That 30-second explanation was great. It was fine. We don't need any more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we've already done plenty to establish her character up to this point that we didn't really need an extensive backstory, and then just through her actions, and then in the few conversations she has had, and then we're probably going to get even more on her going forward, because she's definitely not going to betray the fuck out of Rick Flag Sr.
Yeah, she wants that leadership position, and now she's going to flirt her way to it. Because that's a path that lots of people have taken, and it works like 90% of the time.
Well, he's already shown to be susceptible. All of it's like flirting with Harcourt.
Yeah. So, just, you can't fall for the honeypot, man. Does nobody watch Archer? But either way, right here, this took it down for me for the whole episode. One of the background details, Judo Master's freaking steering wheel cover being spicy themed.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do it. You know what I mean? The only thing that could have taken this to the other level if he still had that dude's WRX that he stole in the first season. That would have been freaking hilarious. It makes sense in a way that he doesn't have it anymore, but whatever. Still, they didn't have to do the steering wheel cover thing. But when you do crap like that, it's hilarious and needs to be appreciated. Just, like the subtleties in the soundtrack when the soundtrack was playing, and then it transitioned into Adebayo and Adrian sitting on the porch, and that was the same song that was playing on their stereo.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's just, when sound design and stuff like that is great, it's worth pointing out because a lot of times people don't appreciate it. And through no fault of their own, a lot of people don't pay attention to that because it's just tertiary to them. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, it's ambience. It's supposed to go unnoticed unless you're specifically listening for it. It's supposed to just set the mood and to keep you engaged, but you're not supposed to. It's not supposed to be so overbearing or noticeable that it pulls you out of it. So, by definition, if it's doing its job, you're not supposed to notice it.
Yeah.
Unless you're specifically looking for it.
Yeah. But either way, when it's good, it just makes it that much better, obviously. So, either way, again, best part of the episode for me personally. Obviously hilarious. I love everything about it. The just random attention to detail for him is great. We talked a little bit about it at the end of the reaction as well. It will be interesting to see what happens with Judo Master. Like, is he going to be trapped in the janitor's closet? Did he immediately just follow Peacemaker and he's just like waiting at the door for like an hour and then trying to go in? What's going to be the deal with him? So that's going to be kind of like the wild card, because he left his calling card, Cheeto thumbprint, like, hey, I followed him in. I don't know if Argus found that note.
No.
I think Adebayo took it, right? She took it with the other note.
Adrian took it.
Yeah, Adrian took it, yeah.
But yeah, they got both the notes. So Argus doesn't know what happens to Judo Master. All they know is just the staticky call he gave to Flurry.
Yeah.
And then now there's no portal there anymore.
Right. As Flurry didn't hear any of it. So they have nothing. Not even the Cheeto thumbprint note. So it will be interesting to see what happens with Judo Master. That can go many different ways that would work, so I'm up for whatever. I don't really care what happens with that. I think it'd be funnier if he got trapped in the closet.
Yeah, I think the most likely thing is that he's trapped in the closet. Because, once again, he delayed going in, and we didn't see any sort of indication that he potentially went through the door to the other dimension with Peacemaker. So, there's not exactly a lot of places where he could have potentially snuck through without Peacemaker noticing.
Yeah.
So, and he does, as far as we know, he doesn't have any sort of way that he could potentially figure out how to get through the door once Peacemaker closes it.
I mean, yeah, he would have to, I guess, watch Peacemaker type in the code and then try to memorize it or something. So
yeah, we haven't seen any sort of skill from Judo Master that would allow him to freaking figure out the code or hack into it or anything.
Yep. So the odds are more than likely that he'll just be kind of stuck in the janitor's closet. Maybe he will find the Cheeto dimension. Just randomly hilarious. Just like, no, I'm living here now. Just full on Scrooge McDuck diving into vaults of Cheetos and stuff.
Yeah, because from what we've seen, it doesn't seem like all the doors actually have security measures on them the way that Augie's door does.
Yeah. So either way, that was interesting. The Eagle A Prime stuff, cool. Hopefully you get more on that. We got plenty of time to just kind of make that an aside, like I said, like a step up from Bordeaux's explanation. Maybe Eagle A will get like some sort of like couple-minute backstory thing, something like that. That'd be good enough for me. And then obviously the next big thing is Peacemaker finding out what dimension he's in and what happens with that. Will the gang figure out how to activate the portal and go in after him? You know what I mean? I assume Economos' tech will have a way to figure it out, even if Adebayo's explanation isn't good enough. You know what I mean? Because I assume you have to align it correctly.
Yeah, they'll. Well, it's probably to at least somewhat complex, but it also has to be simple enough that Peacemaker was able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because once again, they just kind of brute forced it as kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, I imagine this next episode or so is going to be them figuring out how to recreate the portal. And then potentially wandering in, finding Judo Master, and then trying to figure out how to locate the door. Which Judo Master probably knows which door it is, he just can't get through, so they'll need Economos to hack it.
Yeah.
All the while, I assume Peacemaker is going to somehow fuck up the other dimension in some way or shape or form.
Somehow, yeah. But for now, he's he's covered in kaiju juice. I mean, that's probably coming for us in Dandadan, but hey, I mean, the more kaiju that's out there, then why not? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, look at that. That's so gross. So gross. But either way, yeah, there's probably going to be a lot of ramifications, stuff like that. It'll be interesting to see how Peacemaker figures out what dimension he's in, what the deal is, what he's going to potentially try to do about it, considering who he is. So, conflict of interest, question mark?
Yeah.
So, something effective like we talked about before with like him maybe trying to help the Sons of Liberty, that kind of thing.
Yeah, so the Sons of Liberty in particular is going to be a kind of a weird matter because on the one hand, they're ideologically more aligned with him than the government in this dimension, but on the other hand, they also resort to things like bombing civilians.
Yeah. The DMV, really? So, yeah, I can't imagine that they will bring them up and then not use them again. You know what I mean? So, either way, it was a solid episode for what it needed to be. It's continuing the story, obviously. We tied up the loose end of the Eagle guy, which in turn was a vehicle to point out that, hey, Eagle is Prime Eagle, and obviously probably not what he thought, but still has some sort of powers. Obviously can summon eagles at the very least and command them. Yeah,
that was the only thing that St. Wild attributed to the Prime Eagle, was that it could command other eagles.
Yep. But who knows? Maybe he can do other stuff. Obviously, he's more intelligent. And yeah, so again, that should be cool when we get to that backstory, hopefully. And the battle between two Harcourts will probably be a thing. And it's gonna be weird. And probably hot. So, it's, there's a lot of conflicting emotions going on for Harcourt Prime, obviously. You know what I mean? So...
yeah, she's still in that whole thing of friggin'... well, Peacemaker killed Rick Flag Jr. But also, she knows Peacemaker, and she knows that, like, she's interested in him, plus also, like, she's seen all the effort he's made to change, that he's not that same guy anymore.
Right.
Because like he explained in this episode, that was just when he was like basically at the lowest point in his life.
Yep.
And he made the wrong fucked up call and didn't realize it until after the fact.
Which again he was ordered to do by freaking
Waller.
Yeah. So
that was the whole thing. Was he was part of the Suicide Squad. He was one of the villains that was under Waller's supervision, and he was given an opportunity to get out by following the mission. So he tried to follow the mission when everyone else went against it.
Yep. So literally a rock in a hard place. So, and again, as was pointed out by Harcourt, Rick Flag Jr. was pretty much the player that Peacemaker in the Nazi universe is, for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, and again, if Enchantress was his current girlfriend, probably don't want to mess with her. At least not as Harcourt. Or anybody in this crew. Really. Even if Enchantress isn't a huge deal, she's probably more than enough to handle most of them.
Yeah.
And as was pointed out, she was probably not the only one. You know what I mean? Many women, sir. Many, many women. So, that is what it is. But, either way, I'm looking forward to the rest of this. It's been good, solid, everything that it needs to be as far as I'm concerned. People are free to disagree. Like it. Totally fine. But, I'm a John Cena fan. What can I say? I wish there was more Nathan Fillion in this. Maybe we'll get at least a little bit another cameo of the Justice Gang. That'd be fun.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they come back as relevant. Like, that's kind of why I was proposing the idea that we're potentially going to get some sort of him fucking up and the other dimension coming to try to get revenge or something. Because otherwise we don't really have anything for the Justice Gang to do.
Yeah.
What with how much effort they've gone to friggin' course correct the story to include them, I can't imagine we won't get at least one more significant appearance from them.
Yep. So, anyway, that's all I got for this one. Not like a huge amount that we could talk about for this one, because we kind of just got to let it play out. We pretty much theorized everything we possibly can. The spoiler of the Nazi dimension, but I mean, come on. We talked about the lore implications of that. It was reasonably obvious if you knew that existed. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like, not a lot of people know that dimension exists, from what I know, but like I said, I stumbled into it while I was doing just random DC lore research. And if you know it exists, then like it's pretty obvious which dimension it would be, because once again, the major difference being Augie is a hero there.
Yep.
The racist neo-Nazi. Yep.
So, again, solid episode. Looking forward to next week. You have anything else, Edge?
There was something I was going to tell you we were in between recordings, but I can't remember what the hell it was.
Yep. If we find it, we'll talk about it next time. But I will say again, Economos' line delivery in this season has been freaking flawless when it needs to be. It is freaking impressive.
Yeah, no, freaking Economos is still probably one of the better characters in this.
Indeed. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, people of YouTube, beyond however you're watching, we always appreciate you stopping by and hanging out with us here in the dojo for more Peacemaker. And everybody, have a good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is for you. And we'll see you in the next one.
Hey everyone, Victoria here. If you enjoyed the video, please consider pushing those like and subscribe buttons. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thanks again for your time, and we hope to see you again in the future.